Imagine a world where humanity's greatest wisdom vanished overnight, where ancient astronomy, medicine, mathematics, and myths were erased not by time, but by fire. This isn't a dystopian future. It's a tragedy from our past. The ancient Library of Alexandria wasn't just a building. It was a dream. A place where scholars from Babylon, Egypt, Greece, India, and Persia gathered to share the sum of human knowledge. And then, like smoke in the wind, it was gone. What exactly did we lose? Who destroyed it? And why has history struggled to remember it? This is the story of the greatest loss in human history, and it begins on the shores of Egypt 2,300 years ago. The dream began with one man, Alexander the Great. When he died in 323 BCE, his general Ptolemy seized Egypt and founded the city of Alexandria. But it was Ptolemy's son who had the vision to create a library so vast it would hold every book in the known world. Scholars say the Library of Alexandria may have held up to 500,000 scrolls. Some say more. Works from Assyria, India, Persia, Egypt, Athens, carefully collected, copied, and preserved. Ships entering Alexandria were searched for books. If found, they were taken, copied by royal scribes, and the originals kept. Knowledge was seen not as property, but as a treasure for humanity. The library wasn't just a warehouse. It was a living institution. There were lecture halls, botanical gardens, even anatomical theaters for medical dissection. It was a university before the word existed. But the greater the light, the longer the shadow. And the world wasn't ready to protect such a gift. We'll never know the full extent of what was inside, but we do know this: it held knowledge far ahead of its time. There were texts from Indian mathematicians detailing zero and infinity, Babylonian star charts, Egyptian medicine that predates Hippocrates. One scroll, written by Aristarchus, described the Earth orbiting the Sun 1,800 years before Galileo. There were plays, poems, treatises on ethics, engineering, even theories of atoms, long before modern science gave them names. And yet, it wasn't just the content. It was the spirit, a belief that knowledge, collected from every culture, was sacred. Today, we debate who invented what. Back then, they collaborated. It was humanity at its most connected, and in many ways, at its most advanced. In 48 BCE, Julius Caesar landed in Egypt chasing his rival Pompey. What followed was political chaos and unintended catastrophe. Trapped in Alexandria's harbour, Caesar ordered the burning of enemy ships, but fire, once unleashed, obeys no master. The flames spread to the docks and then to the nearby warehouses. Ancient historians like Plutarch and Dio Cassius tell us that scrolls were destroyed in the Inferno. Some say thousands, others hundreds of thousands. Was it the library itself, or just one of its satellite collections? The truth is blurred by time, but this was the first known wound, and it bled knowledge. Still, the library may have survived, wounded but standing. For now. The tragedy of the library wasn't a single night of fire. It was a slow unraveling, a death by 1,000 cuts. In the 4th century, Christian zealots, led by Bishop Theophilus, destroyed pagan temples across Alexandria. The Serapeum, a secondary library site, was burned to the ground. Then came the Muslim conquest in the 7th century. Some chronicles, now debated, claim that Caliph Omar ordered the remaining scrolls burned as heresy. Others say the real culprit was neglect, centuries of war, religious upheaval, and shifting priorities. The world changed, empires fell, and slowly the scrolls turned to dust. In the end, it wasn't just fire that destroyed the library, it was forgetting. And that may be the greatest loss of all. In 48 BCE, a single spark may have changed history. As Julius Caesar chased his rival Pompey into Egypt, he found himself entangled in Cleopatra's civil war with her brother, Ptolemy XIII. When Egyptian forces cut off his fleet, Caesar ordered the burning of Alexandria's harbor to block them. The fire raged out of control. According to Plutarch and other ancient writers, the flames leapt from ship to shore, reaching the warehouses where scrolls were stored. Whether it touched the main library remains debated, but the loss was catastrophic. Thousands of scrolls, possibly more, reduced to ash by a war that had nothing to do with knowledge at all. The Library of Alexandria didn't vanish all at once. It died slowly, like a flame suffocated over time. After Caesar's fire, parts of the library may have survived, perhaps moved to temples or copied elsewhere. But then came the rise of Christianity in the 4th century, and a shift in power. Pagan temples were shuttered, heretical texts were purged. Later, in 391 CE, the Serapeum, a sister library housing thousands of scrolls, was destroyed by Christian zealots. And still, centuries later, under the rule of Caliph Omar in 642 CE, some say the final scrolls were burned to heat bathhouses, because, as one legend claims, if the books agree with the Quran, they are unnecessary. If they disagree, they are dangerous. So what exactly was inside the Library of Alexandria? What was truly lost? We'll never know for sure, but according to historical accounts, it held the complete works of Aristotle, now partially lost, Babylonian astronomy and Indian mathematics, medical texts from Egypt, theories from Persia, and histories from every known civilization. It may have preserved blueprints of inventions, early heliocentric theories, and even records of civilizations we've now forgotten. In destroying the library, humanity didn't just burn scrolls. We may have burned futures that were never born. If history's mysteries fascinate you, and you believe knowledge is worth preserving, subscribe and journey with us into the forgotten past. Because sometimes the greatest stories are the ones we never finished.